Greetings. This is the Cutting Edge on IRFM there with you. And next Wednesday night, the environment is really something else now because here we know. You know, say you have people in America who don't believe, say, there is a serious problem of Guan that is shifting the environment position and shifting how things react in terms of how nature react to certain things we are going on the earth. And these reactions most of the time is created by men. The action of nature that is not conducive to human comfort and human joy. The action of nature against those comforts and joy is caused by man themselves. Man creating disturbance in the atmosphere with them chemical germs and them chemical warfare. And then they want to tell you, says God I do these things. No, God not doing nothing. No, God not doing nothing. It's him, man, I create the problem. And nature have a way to belch out, vomit out, cough out, sneeze out, just like human beings. All the undesirable viruses that is placed in front of them. All the desirables, the undesirables. So all these sickness, where you see a guava man have. When him belch, cough, sneeze, or whatsoever him do, is a next man, he might infect a next person. When nature sneeze, belch, and cough, it's not doing nature nothing more than just getting rid of the excess baggage that human beings cause to be twirling and twisting all over the place. So when you hear a man say, oh, plastic, too much plastic, is going to destroy the planet. No. Plastic can't destroy the planet because plastic come from the earth in different forms and shapes. But guess what? It is man, life, that is getting miserable because of all these plastics, not the earth. Oh dear man, the last creature to come on the planet, to believe that him can destroy the planet. Who dare him to believe that? Who dare man to believe, say, all these bombs and all these will destroy the planet? No, it's going to destroy man. Because man will make bomb to destroy human beings and left building. Can you believe that? Yeah, man, neutron bomb. Remember a bomb named neutron bomb? It destroy human beings and left the buildings. Oh, the hell, why would a man sit down and try to make a bomb that destroy human beings and left building? Who the hell going living at the building them? Rat and cow and goat and sheep. And this is the mindset of human beings. No. Why may I talk about the environment? We see we are going to California, and yet still a whole heap of people don't want to believe, say, is the change in climate conditions is causing the different movement of things. Things we're calling it now. The hurricane that is coming at us at rapid speed now and more. People don't want to believe it's man causing it. The ozone layer depleting. Whole heap of people don't want to believe it's man that cause it. Well, I want to tell you that it's man that cause it. And even though disasters used to take place for centuries, but the kind of disaster that is taking place in these times is directly related to what man is doing in relationship to the planet. We have to understand that. We have to understand how every individual on earth right now is helping to destroy himself and others. And every individual can help to keep people alive, the birds and the trees and the animals. Now, several months ago, I talked about something named methane gas. And a little brother called me and told me, say, foolishness me attack. The reason why all of these natural disasters that take place is because man are chip off the moon. And I said, what the hell am talking about? Man are chip off the moon. And I tell him, say, I asked him if he about methane gas. He said, no. I said, then why you don't go Google methane and say if me attack what me attack about? Him come back the next week and him never Google it and him still come back with the fools, you know, say, women go up on the moon. And I said, you know of any time? When did women, which country send a woman upon the moon? That actually land upon the moon. Anyway, him continue with the foolishness. So I want to go back to that argument about the methane gas. I want to go back about the methane gas because we have the carbon dioxide, we have carbon monoxide, and the carbon dioxide is what we breathe out. And we breathe in oxygen, H2O. And we have something named CO2, which is carbon dioxide. Now we have one named carbon monoxide, which you get it flushing at your face when you drive behind one of them coaster bus. When you drive behind the coaster bus them and the car them where a puff smoke at your face. It's a serious problem to your health, that. And I don't know how police don't say all them something there, because it's not something that concern Jamaican people. Because Jamaican people eat them lunch in a box, in a van, in a coaster bus or a taxi. And the road smooth road, well asphalt up. And he might eat and him not throw the box right on the asphalt, not up the place. And I say, what the hell is happening to these people? And nobody, the police, them stand up there and them nah say nothing, nah do nothing. After recent, I see people that drive, you know how much man get killed over the weekend without a riding bike, without helmet. We hear people that fight against the mask. Because them say, well, government, why you wear a mask on your face? To go style you with the carbon dioxide. So then the government, they tell us, I'm going to charge you money if you don't wear a helmet. And everybody try and make sure to them have a helmet. Oh, me no hear nobody a ball say, hey, government, me no ban with no helmet, you know. Me no ban with no helmet or seat belt. The government make it mandatory for you to wear seat belt. And seat belt kill no picnic. Seat belt kill no picnic, choke them. That's no joke business. All right, so this methane gas, this methane gas get for really help to destroy man's living condition. It helps to destroy man's living condition because man is trying to kill animals, to eat them. So he have to have more animals, more livestock farming. More livestock farming means more methane gas. What is methane gas? Methane gas is when the cow poop, when the goat poop, when them belch and all these things. It let go a methane gas that is destructive to the atmosphere. Destructive. But guess what? Man is rearing animals to eat them. Now, apart from the animal not good for your structure, the amount of land that it takes to rear cow, you know how much food could have planted on that ground. You ever drive a country and when you look in a white space, you see a 3 cow upon all acres of land, and you say, rotted. Me know you have them space in my yard for run up and down, and this cow run up and down all over the place. I play catch it with him friend. And I eat grass and I mirror, and I leg up poop all over the place, and I create problems in the atmosphere. No, we don't take it serious. We don't take it serious, but it's a serious thing. This methane gas is a serious thing. Methane gas create more harm to the atmosphere than the car them when you see a drive on the road. All them SUV where you hear people say, by the pollution. The methane gas create more problem to man than the SUV them. But even the plane them when you see a flying at the air. Because our greed and our need to eat flesh is causing our own destruction. And not, we're not talking about destruction now because you eat meat and the meat possibly not good for you. We're not talking about it from a eating healthy purpose. We are talking about survival of a next species, and also the survival of the planet as it relates to man, making it the planet being home. We need to develop a culture where we can eat less animal products. We need to eat less animal products. And this is not no joke business now. This is not because I'm a Rasta, I say that. It's common sense. And sometimes the common sense is so common because what people do have it. Because you don't even know why. Why Muta talk about not eat meat? You can't go and talk. Give me my goat and curry goat and them something there. Look here, man. You're destroying man's way of life on the planet. So we're going to live in a bubble. Like when Michael Jackson go in a machine and stay there. We're going to live in a bubble because the air, like in Los Angeles now, the air is not proper for human beings. So people are move out even though the fire, well I hear a fire start at Los Angeles and all, even though the fire never up at Los Angeles so much. People have to move out of Los Angeles. No, a place like Oregon. Oregon, you know much forest there, Oregon. We go to a festival in Oregon, man. We have to drive through some little dirt road for reach round in the forest. Forest festival, when you look around there, thousands of people around there smoke ganja and go on like them mad and all them something there. And I eat natural food and health food and them thing there. All of them places they burn down. And you see the smoke, if you know the American map, Portland, Oregon, we up at the what you call it, the west, the northwest of America. And them say people have feel the smoke in a Florida. You know how much miles that fire, you know, so the amount of fire we burn in America now is more than the square miles in Jamaica. You know, so you can drop Jamaica in some of the places where fire burn and whole heap of space still left. It's a serious thing. No. You see this methane gas? You see this livestock farming? Livestock farming, one, deplete the ground because it's not allowing human beings to plant enough food to feed the nation because we need land. We need land. We need land for plant food and build house. When you have 4 cows on an acre of land, and you know so that acre of land can bring quarts and quarts of red peas, or it can bring plant now more and lettuce and tomato and cabbage per 1 acre land. There's enough lettuce and cabbage that. 3 cow per a piece of land like that. It's joke business. Not to mention, see them a pop up the place. And the gas will go up in the atmosphere and I create a problem. Now, upper people might think it's foolishness me attack, but at 29 years, me the part of this program, and whole heap of people did feel say foolishness me attack when me just start until them realize, but right, in the brother there, him did I say some things, you know, hear me I say, man. The less meat is the less destruction. And you are saving a life. Because the animal life is no different from the human life. It's just different manifestation of the flesh that cause you to believe, say, you know, man domesticate certain animals, you know, like him domesticate dog and cat. Some people domesticate rat too. You understand? Now, the dog is because the dog can protect him. Him do all these things. Some people don't eat cow. In India, the cow is a sacred animal. In other West, people are so rotted. People are worship all cow. Them are idiot. Some people in certain countries don't eat pig. You have man in Jamaica who say, give me Arnold, what you talk about? Whoa. Arnold is a good meat, but it's not good for you or the environment. So where we are saying now, this idea of eating meat, and then turn around and I say, I don't know Rasta thing, me have to give me eat my meat. Look here, human beings never make feed meat. Human beings acquire the eating of meat through time. And through them get lazy. And through them see animals and them start to behave like animal. Cow know when them go dead. If you go kill a cow, you don't think same. Just like if you walk on the road and see a gunman. If you walk on the road and see a gunman, you know how much enzymes jolt your body and start to send certain poisons in your body, that your flesh start to become weak and numb and all other things. You don't think that happened to the cow and the goat and all them something there. You don't think your goat know when you cut off him balls, but you're going to make manish water. When you tie him upside down and cut off him head and all them something there. That's so white people used to treat black people. It's so white people used to treat black people. Cut off all your balls. Every person, every male that was found lynched in America was found without them so-called private parts. Because these white people take them private parts and put in a bottle and carry go home. And we see human beings doing this to animals. Animals who feel say because them can't talk, them have no sense and them don't know what going on around them. You have a thing coming. Because you say you only have strength for certain animal. You want to go to Africa and buck up a certain animal and make you run. You know see it? Me there in a place in Africa one time while we are looking riding as a roast giraffe and we see a tiger down the bottom of the road. I said, we could go look at the tiger to return road. We said, 3 of them are run come towards the car. I said, Virgin, you know, he said, the way you want me do, I say, oh, you mean, why you do? Why you drive off? I don't mean them to run come to see them, but them are run come to we, but I don't mean them are run far too. It's the other animal, him say. Animal, because a lesser animal have him, you know. Because so animal treat other animal, and them not have the intelligent capacity to do what we do, I know how we know. So it is in their little world for hunt the weaker one, just like how men, because you're weak, them take advantage of you. But it is not in our prerogative to hunt and kill animals, to eat them. Because you have some people now go eat them dog, you know. You have some people now carry them hungry, you know. And they want some feet, you know. If now go kill him dog and roast it, or fry it up and all them something. As a matter of fact, him go say, no, it's after me not Chinese. But you have people who eat dog, which is a terrible thing. Terrible, terrible thing. And you have people who eat goat, and not only eat goat, every part of the goat. You have people who eat cow, everything, and then take the skin and make all shoes and all these things. Why is it that we eat meat? Most of us eat meat because we come say we people them a eat meat. And me know say, if most people was to kill the animal where them about eat, they wouldn't kill it. They wouldn't have the guts to kill it. But them have the guts to put it on them plate and eat it and continue and perpetuate animal destruction. Animal destruction is a terrible thing. Terrible thing. We have say we need to take a stock of the meat eating. And it might not sound like enough, but me now eat meat, me make a little difference. But if a whole heap away decides so we now eat meat, you know how much pollution it will save? You know how much pollution, you know how much animal would I really live them life or them can't live their life. It's like how human beings. Suppose they have a disease, like what you see in the movies, will make men become cannibals. Serious thing. I don't want to sound disgusting in the night, but just think about them Walking Dead movie where you watch on TV. It's a virus cause it, you know. It's a virus cause it. So you hear me say now. You have to look on an animal like how you look on a human being, just like how you look on your dog where you have your yard. Because you can't appear respect to your dog where you have your yard because you feel the thief will come in and the dog will protect you from the thief. When you now protect the cow, or you now protect the goat. When the goat have been picking them and pick them up, meh, you take with the mother and go kill the mother and let the little pick them to suffer, to fend for themselves. But you not think about it because you're a human being. You're a human being. And the problem with that is that the goat not eating meat. What a day when goats start eat meat. What a day when cows start run down man and eat them. Why we protect cats and dogs in your house, but we don't want to protect the cows? Because I know you to drive on road, you know, and see all the dog in the middle of the road and say them stop and make the dog cross. So them lick the dog. Lick the dog. That is the way of the human beings. And when we hear about party and thing, and people are saying them want curry goat and rice, and nobody now eat no vegetable. Nobody now eat no vegetable. And we not talk about the health reason, you know. We just talk about life. And we are talking about the continuous killing, blood that is spilled every day to make man claim survival of the fittest and make man claim, say, he must have dominion over all animals. You think that you can fight a war with animals? You're mad. If animals decide they're going to fight, you think that you can win the war? If all the drunk of them start to fight against man, you think that you can win drunk war? If all the goat them decide, say, watch a man, enough is enough. We want to name them people, you know. You think you can win? You can't win. Because one little purple jump on your neck and that's the end of you. Much less a goat, one cow. You see cow match up car, just stand up on the road, so. And him no move, and the car go boom. And the car just mash up, and the cow just slowly walk across the road. He just a walk like he don't care. Him no care at all. It's a terrible thing. So we I say, just think on it. Think on it. We want to play this strip here, you know, because we think it's very important to change the dynamics of the conversation them at night time. And you know, and just listen to this. Listen to this.
Philip Woolen.
King Lear, late at night on the cliffs, asks the blind Earl of Gloucester, "How do you see the world?" And the blind man Gloucester replies, "I see it feelingly. And shouldn't we all? Animals must be off the menu because tonight they are screaming in terror in the slaughterhouses, in crates and in cages, vile, ignoble gulags of despair." You see, I heard the screams of my dying father as his body was ravaged by the cancer that killed him. And I realized I'd heard those screams before. Meat today is the new asbestos, more murderous than tobacco. CO2, methane and nitrous oxide from the livestock industry are killing our oceans with acidic, hypoxic dead zones. 90% of the small fish are ground up into pellets to feed to livestock. Vegetarian cows today are the world's largest ocean predators. The oceans are dying in our time. By 2048, all our fisheries will be dead, the lungs and the arteries of the earth. Billions of bouncy little chicks are ground up alive simply because they are male. Only 100 billion people have ever lived. 7 billion people live today. And yet we torture and kill 2 billion sentient living beings every week. 10,000 entire species are wiped out every year because of the actions of one. And we're now facing the 6th mass extinction in cosmological history. If any other organism did this, a biologist would call them a virus. It is a crime against humanity of unimaginable proportions. But happily, the world is changing. 10 years ago, Twitter was a bird sound. www was a stuck keyboard. Cloud was in the sky. 4G was a parking space. Google was a baby's burp. Skype was a typo. And Al-Qaeda was my plumber. Victor Hugo said, "There is nothing more powerful than an idea whose time has come." Well, animal rights today is now the greatest social justice issue since the abolition of slavery. Do you know there are over 600 million vegetarians in this world? And that is bigger than the United States, England, France, Germany, Spain, Italy, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, all put together. If we were one nation, we would be bigger than the 27 nations of the European Union. Can you believe that? And despite this massive demographic footprint, we are still drowned out by the raucous hunting, shooting, killing cartels who believe that violence is the answer when it should not even be a question. Meat kills animals, kills us, and is killing our economies. Medicare has already bankrupted the United States. They will need $8 trillion invested in treasury bills just to pay the interest, and they have precisely zero. They could shut down every school, Army, Navy, Air Force, Homeland Security, Marines, CIA, and FBI, and they still will not have the money to pay their doctor bills. And our Cornell and Harvard say that the optimum amount of meat in a healthy human diet is precisely zero. Water, as you know, is the new oil. Nations will soon be going to war for it. Underground aquifers that took millions of years to fill are now running dry. It takes 50,000 liters of precious drinking water to make 1 kilo of beef. Today, 1 billion people are hungry. 20 million people will die from malnutrition. Cutting meat by only 10% will feed 100 million people, and eliminating meat will end starvation forever. If everyone ate a Western diet, we would need 2 planet Earths to feed us. We've only got one, and she is dying. Greenhouse gas emissions from livestock is 50% greater than transport, as Peter said. Cars, trains, buses, ships, lorries, the whole lot. And as I travel around the world, I see poor countries who sell their grain to the West while their own children starve in their arms. And the West feeds it to livestock so we can eat a steak? Am I the only one who sees this as a crime? Believe me, every morsel of meat we eat is slapping the tear-stained face of a hungry child. When I look into her eyes, do I remain silent? The earth can produce enough food for everyone's need, but not enough for everyone's greed. We are facing the perfect storm. If any nation had developed weapons that could wreak such havoc on the planet, we would launch a preemptive military strike and bomb it back into the Bronze Age. But it's not a rogue state, it's an industry. The good news is we don't have to bomb it. We can just stop buying it. Sir George Bush was wrong. The axis of evil does not run through Iraq, Iran, or North Korea. It runs through our dining tables. Weapons of mass destruction are our knives and forks. Our proposition is the Swiss Army knife of the future. It solves our environmental, water, human health problems and ends cruelty forever. The Stone Age didn't end because we ran out of stones. This cruel, disgusting industry will end because we run out of excuses. Meat is like the 1 and 2 cent coins. It costs more to make than it's worth. And I come from the bush. Farmers are the ones with the most to gain. Farming won't end, it would boom. Only the product line will change. Farmers would make so much money they won't even bother counting it, and I'd be the first to applaud them. Governments would love us. New industries would emerge and flourish. Health insurance premiums would plummet. Hospital waiting lists would disappear. Hell, we'd be so healthy, we'd have to shoot someone just to start a cemetery. So tonight I have 2 challenges for the opposition. 2 challenges. Meat causes a wide range of cancers and heart disease. Would they name one disease caused by a vegetarian diet? And 2, I'm funding the Earthlings trilogy. If the opposition is so sure of their ground, I challenge them to send a copy of the Earthlings DVD to all their colleagues and all their customers. Go on, I dare you. Animals are not just other species, they are other nations, and we murder them at our peril. The peace map is drawn on a menu. Peace is not just the absence of war, it is the presence of justice. Justice must be blind to race, color, religion, or species. If she's not blind, she will be a weapon of terror. And tonight, there is unimaginable terror in those ghastly Guantanamos we call factory farms or slaughterhouses. Believe me, if slaughterhouses had glass walls, we wouldn't be having this debate tonight.
Yes. This is this cutting edge on IRFM, just trying to examine how you steer and how you feel about the subject, yeah. Because it's a serious subject. In Jamaica, I don't want to look and say it's a Rasta subject. Like it's Mutabaruka and Chuma Rasta I'm talk about no eat meat. No, it's a common sense thing. Common sense. We are work. We're going to come forward. You see when me just aside Rasta and me among some brethren and we are talking about when I eat meat. We never really had things so when I eat meat because of health reasons, you know. Because what people know, them not eat meat because of health reasons. When we come side Rasta, we never did eat meat because of health reasons, you know. we're not eating meat because it's an animal. We have eye and mouth and nose and foot. We used to say if God wanted animals to be your food, He would make it with food for him run away from you. So we are talking about the idea of flesh as food. That is what we are talking about. We are talking about the health benefits. Because we can talk about the health benefits too, but it's not the health benefits that attract me to not eating meat. It's the idea that the animal will see you. Animal smell you. Animal walk. You don't think him not do a talk. And maybe years from now, you could have see them attack too. My brethren just say that you can just imagine if some creatures from outer space come and start eat people, and then them start to say, human beings say, Lord, never eat people, but why we don't eat the animal them? Why you eat the animal them? You don't think so the cow? Why when cow say something was dangerous, him run, you know, unless you put him in a pen and him can't get to it. You ever see a goat across road and him have a 6 picnic behind him? Him not left them, you know. He said if him go across the road and him see some of them not come, him go back over the road, you know. Check the goat. Goat more sensible than dog when them across the road, you know. Not to mention that cat. Cat a try run between the back wheel and the front wheel. I don't know, so by the time we reach on the beagle, the back wheel are going to lick him. You don't see it. The goat not letting him pick them when they run across the road. You look at the dog. You have a dog where, man, you have a dog in your man. You see, if somebody just pass the gate, them start to bar down the place, like you know, say somebody a pass the gate. You understand? And them know who not for back after. So I say, there's something about animals that we are miss. There's something that we are miss, man. We can't just nonchalant, just kill animals, so kill animals and things, so there's no consequence. There is consequences to keep killing animals. There's consequences to having all this livestock farming to provide your glutton self with animal flesh. There is a consequence, and the consequence is that the environment is getting worse and worse because there's less and less oxygen in the air. And we are chopped down the tree them too. That is all the next thing. You have fruit tree, I not chop them down. So why you chop down the other tree them? And some people don't want to eat fruit. The glorious fruit, you don't have to kill the fruit. You don't have to kill you don't have to kill animal to eat fruit. Because even the animal, they might eat the fruit. You ever see a dog yet when him belly hurt him, he run go outside go look for a grass. He might look for the grass to eat the grass, and he want to get rid of him, he want to get it out of his system, you know. And if you look at him, he must smell grass. And then him find the right grass and him start to chew on it, you know. So tell me something. You don't want to eat something like that? You don't really want to eat something like that? Look how man ride ass. In a race ass, thousands of people stand up and watch some man jump on the ass and beat the ass just to reach down on the other side of the park. Oh, madness. You know what them do with slave? You know what them do with African them? The same way how you say, these people who fight against slavery and fight against how human beings treat human beings. Them same one that treat animals like how human beings treat human beings in a slavery days. But it will come cross way. We grew up in a societies where don't see the necessity for check the connection between animals and human beings. And human beings is the last creature. As a matter of fact, I can't even put it a different way. Human beings is the last of anything will appear upon the planet. Human beings. Everything else was upon the planet the day before human being. Everything. Everything was there right now the day before human beings in our next farm. So even the plastic bottle in our next farm the day before human being. Even the computer the day before human beings in our next farm. Because humans being put all of the things them from the earth together for bring it to a computer stage or a plane stage. Tell me what him can bring out of the earth for bring a cow to the stage with cow there. But by the switch of a knife, him just kill the cow and then I eat the cow. Why the hell you coming from with this thinking? We can't break out of it because we live in a society that feed off an animal and promote the killing of animal and promote eating animal. Whopper, burger, double whopper, best dressed chicken. Imagine a chicken advertise you for kill him own self. You're like the chicken there say, kill me. See me me's a fat chicken. It's a joke business. And them can't get enough chicken, them start to incubate and breed chicken to make human beings eat it. And look how much things they have to eat. We don't have no eye. We don't have no foot. We don't have no nose. We don't have no mouth and no ears. Oh gosh, man. The more I talk about it, the more I feel like I'm getting sick with these people, man. Yeah, it's really a sick thing. I mean, most people now would think it that way there. Because I have him go to him go a party. You know what I'm saying? And on Sunday, I have to eat chicken and rice and peas, or mutton and rice and peas. Yeah, all tripe. You mean say take out a tripe out of animal and I eat it? Tripe. Eh? Oh, the hell you gonna eat tripe, Rasta? Tripe and bean. Ass meat. What them call it, when them say bully beef. A whole people don't know there's some old ass in Canada and all them places we can't ride again. Let them just kill them and just grind them up and just turn them in a bully beef and send come in all the country and all where we love bully beef and rice. Them have poor people. You can't afford nothing, you afford bully beef and rice. Terrible thing, man. Human beings was not made to eat animals. Human beings is the last anything come on earth. Last anything. I don't know where them come from, but they are not very compatible to life on the planet Earth, human beings. Human beings is the worst creatures that is on Earth now because of what they are doing to the planet that is providing them with them life.
Are called tablets because they belong on tables. They are tested 20 centimeters away from that big guy that I showed you before. 20 centimeters away. They are not approved to be held in the laps of little children, although millions of kids are having them now in schools because the people involved in educational technology and those involved in public health research are not talking to one another. Because if they were, they would understand that you're giving children a two-way microwave radiating device, and if you must give them such a device for learning purposes, put it on airplane mode so that it's not sending and receiving signals as it does otherwise. Now, this is some new modeling, again, that we've developed with colleagues in Brazil, and we can share with you how we've done it. We first start out with the MRI and create the model with 1 millimeter voxels, and this is quite a bit of work goes into creating this, and here is what it looks like after a period of 6 minutes. That's really not as bad as it might look, because you see the red area only gets partway through the eye of the adult, right? The one that we're really concerned about is this one with the young child. And this is a 3-year-old brain that we modeled. And you see that by the end of that 6-minute call, the peak radiation, yellow and red, is getting all the way into almost both eyes. And again, this is one call, and it's not going to kill anybody. It may not cause any biological effect whatsoever for 1 call or 2 calls or 3 calls. But the question is, what's the cumulative impact of this kind of exposure? How do we evaluate it? And I want to show you an example of some of the work that we are doing now that I'm releasing here for the first time. And this is a modeled microwave radiation dose of a 6-year-old with greater levels to the frontal and temporal lobes, eyes and cheek. And watch this here. Now, yellow, white, and red are the hottest, all right? And if you look carefully, you will see it's going into the eye, the nose. Do it again, just so you'll get to see it. And partly into the brainstem. Now, that's just showing you that there's going to be some exposure into that area of a young head. It doesn't tell you that there's any biological effect, right? Now, the next slide is going to show you something that might be of interest to students and faculty here. And that has to do with exposure to the reproductive organs. We call them the gonads. I think you say the testicles. And bone marrow. And look here at the radiation as it gets into the groin area. And that's just from having a mobile phone modeled into the pocket. And this, again, is based on normalized SAR with a dipole antenna. Now, the breast. The breast is mostly fat, contains a lot of fluid. Things that contain fat and fluid cook faster in the microwave oven. Now, a cell phone can't cook anything, all right? Mobile phones do not pop popcorn. That was a fraud. They don't make any heat that we know of, otherwise they wouldn't be permitted. But they do go through things that contain fat and fluid, and we are now working at Environmental Health Trust with scientists at the University of California, San Francisco, scientists at formerly the president of the American Cancer Society of California, because we are seeing women who keep cell phones in their bras. Has anyone seen a woman put a cell phone in her bra? Hands up, please. Please tell them you've heard now why they shouldn't do that. And here I want to show you our first case report from 2009, and we now have many more. This was a Chinese-American woman who used her cell phone 4 hours a day in her bra for 10 years while she was driving. Now, and you drive with a phone on your body. The phone is smart. It's going to go from one tower to another, and it's going to say, here I am, where tower, to another. And there it was right next to her chest. And the tumors that developed right under the antenna of the phone. Unusual tumors. But in the meantime, people have a right to know how you can minimize exposure. And again, I think this information is available on our website, will be available on yours. Remember, if you have to give a phone to a child, put it on airplane mode. And think about this. That microwave oven, it works because there's a metal box around a microwave signal, and the signal pings all over the place. Next time you get into an elevator or a train for any length of time, put your phone on airplane mode. Otherwise, that signal is going all over the place, magnifying and coming back. Keep the mobile phone away from you when it's on and you are asleep. Now, it takes a village to do a lot of things. These are some of the people whose materials I've used today with their permission, and I can't read this list to you, but I want you to know that I feel really honored to be working with some of the most talented people in the world on this issue, and they have given me permission to share these materials with you. And I leave you with this thought from Albert Einstein. The world is not dangerous because of those who do harm, but because of those who look at it without doing anything. So, thank you.
Yes. Serious thing, serious conversation. Serious conversation. We want to continue, we want to continue upon that level here. So, make we play this for the people them. This one is about the 10 countries that produce the most pollution. I want them Jamaica night. Do your baby Trump go out there now, come like you want run Jamaica like how America, Trump run America. Believe you me.
Welcome to Top 10 Archive. Between greenhouse gases and carbon dioxide emissions, we've done quite the number on our wondrous planet. And while we've all had a hand in polluting our own world, there are certain countries that play a bigger part than others. To educate, inform, and maybe terrify our readers, we're pointing fingers at the 10 countries with the highest pollution emission. Number 10, Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia makes up a measly 1.3% of the world's overall CO2 emissions. But it's a surprising number, considering the comparatively smaller population of just under 29 million. As with most countries, the burning of fossil fuels adds a great deal of pollution in the form of CO2. But there's more to Saudi Arabia's environmental pollution than that. The country's production of over 50 million tons of cement in 2013, a drastic jump from 26 million tons in 2005, as well as being one of the world's largest petroleum producers, has played a significant part in Saudi Arabia's role in world pollution emissions. Number 9, Indonesia. With a population nearing 250 million people, a heavy intake of electronic waste, and the routine burning of crops for the production of pulp, palm oil, and paper, Indonesia has quite the hand in the world's emission of pollutants. In regards to CO2 pollution alone, Indonesia accounts for 1.4% of total emissions at 510,000 kilotons emitted on an annual average. Things are so bad in Indonesia that it is known for being home of 2 of the world's most polluted areas, Kalimantan and Citarum River Basin. The persistence and hazard of the polluted haze from the frequent fires has even forced schools to close and infants to be evacuated from Indonesian cities. Number 8, Canada. Everybody loves Canada, right? Well, maybe not Mother Nature, so long as the country continues on its path of environmental destruction. Like Saudi Arabia, Canada's hand in CO2 emissions may seem small at 1.5% of the world's total, but the 550,000 kilotons is an emission per capita of 15.7%, considering the 35 million people it houses. According to Canada's own environmental conscience website, Environment Canada, major factors in the country's pollution output include an increase in localized industry and seemingly harmless things like road salt and chemicals used in dry cleaning clothing. In regards to prevention, Canada's National Pollutant Release Inventory offers a range of resources to avert further damage to the environment. Number 7, South Korea. Producing almost 2% of the world's CO2 emissions, South Korea definitely has environmental issues of its own it needs to square away. A portion of South Korea's overall air pollution does come from China in the form of arsenic-carrying dust, but that's not to say it's innocent. Coal-firing plants in the country are a major cause to the elevated carbon dioxide levels and creation of the lung-damaging ultra-fine dust. In Seoul specifically, residents are advised to have protective masks on hand should a desert dust blow in and react with nitrogen and sulfur oxides emitted from power plants to form ultra-fine dust. Number 6, Germany. It may be hard to refrain from making a Volkswagen joke about now, but truth be told, Germany's pollution problems stem a bit beyond car manufacturing, though it should be said that elevated diesel pollution has been observed, which has played a role in the country's 3% contribution to the world's pollution problem. One city in particular, Stuttgart, experiences spikes in nitrogen dioxide pollution that brings the annual level to over double what's considered an acceptable threshold. As with much of the rest of the world, Germany's CO2 contribution stems from fossil fuel consumption and waste emission. Though the country has been seeing slight drops in CO2 levels, with a 4.3% drop of the country's total pollutants from 2013 to 2014. Number 5, Japan. The air quality in Japan has certainly taken some big hits throughout history, from Hiroshima to Fukushima. But a portion of the country's problem with pollutants comes from its own practices. Though Japan has some of the strictest regulations when it comes to sulfur dioxide and nitrogen emissions, the country houses 70% of the world's waste incinerators. With the incineration of waste, dioxins are emitted into the air, increasing the risks of cancer, heart disease, and diabetes. An additional source that attributes to urban pollution includes Japan's use of nuclear energy, though the emission of greenhouse gases are generally smaller than common practices like coal burning. Despite the use of nuclear energy, Japan still accounts for 4% of the world's CO2 emissions. Number 4, Russia. 5% of the world's CO2 emissions comes from Russia. And when you get down to the nitty-gritty of how the government once viewed pollution, it's a surprise that level isn't much higher. At one time, Russian government officials believed that concern and regulation over pollutants were not worth considering if it meant a slowdown of economic advancement. By the 1990s, approximately 40% of Russian territory felt the effects of this mindset and was under moderately high environmental stress. Russia still faces inefficient energy usage and emission from fossil fuel use, though the Ministry of Fuels and Energy reports that carbon emission can be cut by 25% through upgraded equipment. Number 3, India. Approximately 6% of the world's CO2 emissions comes from India, but it also has one of the lowest emission per capita numbers due to its larger population of over 1.2 billion people. Regardless, the country faces an ecological crisis due to the burning of fossil fuels, more specifically diesel from vehicles and factories. It's a small role in the big picture, but Hindu cremation practices are also a hindrance to the environment, as the public burning of a deceased person releases carbon dioxide and mercury. Families also utilize cow manure and other agricultural waste as cooking fuel, meaning each household practicing these methods are contributing to the country's overall pollution. Number 2, United States. Making up about 15% of the world's total CO2 emissions, the United States produces over an approximate 5 million kilotons of CO2 a year. In 2014, the American Lung Association reported that around half of the United States' 300-plus million population was living in areas of dangerously high air pollution levels. Beyond just CO2 emissions, warmer temperatures are causing an increase in ozone levels in cities like Los Angeles, New York, Chicago, and Las Vegas. What's causing the increase in air pollution in the states? Everything from overuse of fossil fuels to oil spills to pesticides have all played a part in crippling the country's environment. Number 1, China. China being at number 1 is probably not a huge surprise, but it's still shocking to know that nearly 30% of the entirety of the world's CO2 emissions, or twice that of the United States, comes from this country. With a population of over 1.3 billion people and cities almost completely covered in a hazardous smog, China is constantly facing an environmental crisis. So much so that it's believed that only 1% of the country's city population is breathing air considered safe by European Union standards. A reliance on coal burning for heat, an increase in industrial plant usage, and unfortunate weather patterns that don't allow for the escape of pollution have made parts of the country dangerous to live in. Were you surprised to see a certain country on this list?
Okay. All right. I want to explain something to the people. I is not one, I gotta tell you, say, if you eat pure vegetable, you're not gonna dead. Or if you're a vegetarian, you're not gonna dead, you know. What I find is that eating a vegetarian diet cause you less problem and less doctor bill. It's not that you're going to live longer than everybody else. Because you have some people have longevity in them genes. And you could have eat a whole vegetable a little more, you're dead at 30. Same way. I say that I find that people who eat a whole heap of meaty face, the possibility and the chances of them going to doctor very regular is much more than a person who I say he might eat a more well-balanced diet with, more chlorophyll, more carbs, more, iron and all these things over come out of vegetable, more fruits and all them something. And now you hear them say it. You hear them say it. You hear them saying it, that eat your vegetables. Because when I a youth, and most you know why I eat vegetable. All okra. You think you could get all when me a big, me never eat okra, Okra look like sperm. There's certain things that I don't want to eat. I don't want to eat my vegetable, all pear and them something, them tomato. I don't want to eat them something there. But to grow into it, I will grow and realize about it. The things that your mother used to put on the side, and that should have been the main course. Because she give you white rice and chicken, pear grease in the chicken, and the rice than white. What a man that want to eat white rice for in a them time here? In a them time here. Because maybe you could have eat it in a them time and get to Because you just work out back the start, the carbohydrate out of your body, you work it out. Because you walk up and down and I run up and down. But nowadays nobody now walk up and down for people roll with them computer and all them something that's sitting in them office and them something. Them now work out nothing. Your grandfather, him get up early morning, go and ground and come back and yam bully pa yam and dumpling and this and that. And then him go walk. Him now just walk because him want to go jog, Him a walk because him a go catch water up the road and no pipe in your yard. You have pipe in your toilet, pipe in your bathroom, pipe to wash outside. And so you don't have to go nowhere for pipe. So the activity of our human body is used less because of modern ways and doings. So we have to fit with the modern ways and doings. The fit with the modern ways and doings, so we use less carbohydrate and less protein in our diet, that it don't get bungled up in our system. A person tell me one time we don't area we had talked to my person, and him said I tell him say you should supposed to go to the bathroom twice a day. Him said 3 days, no, I'm not going to toilet. I said, no, you're sick. And them laugh after me. It's like, I will Muta say, I'm not go to toilet for 3 days. Him feel comfortable with it. How can a man not go to toilet 3 days? That is constipation at its highest level. What is the food where they might eat? You see, carbohydrate and protein don't make you go to toilet, What make you do? It's poop all leap like cow. But this is what carbohydrate do, Carbohydrate and protein make you poop like cow. And that if you eat some of them kidney beans, what them call red peas. Trust me, man. When you let go one of those, man, you're talking about blow up Russia and all them places. But carbohydrate and protein is what causes stagnation of your system inside of you. So you need to make this be a regular thing. That you move your bowels regular. Get out the food. The food where you eat this morning. And next food not to catch you with the same food where in your body this morning. Because unless because some people body not assimilate certain food, And really and truly, you see the carbohydrate and the protein, the fish and the milk and the cheese and the egg and the white rice, the white flour, the white sugar, the white all of them things stuck in your system longer than we're going to say a vegetarian diet where you're just free. And when you go to toilet, especially white flour, oh gosh, man. Call up on white flour now. Remember me a youth, me a piece of dance posters on the wall, A white flour, we mix and stick the posters them on the wall, Yeah, man. When I used to say, I give some money for stick up them dance posters there for me. We just go buy some flour and just mix it. All the way I make kite. Make the grease paper and the pretty paper hold on the bamboo. We just go get flour and just stick it on. So you can just imagine that white flour, we don't have no roughage in there. It's not like wheat. Because whole wheat, means you get not only the white part of the berry, but you also get the outside of the berry. You understand? So it have a kind of, what you call it now, roughage for your system. It's just that it need to make it come out back quicker. Whole heap of people don't know, say, anytime they eat, yeah, me come. A whole heap of people don't know, say, anytime you eat white flour, it's stuck in you. It'll make dance posters in your belly.